back to Wednesday's edition of Morning Ride. It is time for our interview segment. The recent decision by the federal government to dissolve the Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs and the Ministry of Sports Development has generated widespread discussions. This restructuring was officially announced after the October 2024 Federal Executive Council FEC meeting, where it was stated that the responsibility of these ministries would be realigned to optimize government functions and improve service delivery. The Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs has been replaced by a broader Ministry of Regional Development, which will now oversee commissions for various regions, including the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC. This move aims to address the specific needs of regional development more efficiently across the country. The Ministry of Sports Development, on the other hand, will be replaced by the National Sports Commission, tasked with continuing sports policy and program management. Today we are joined by Honorable Mrs. Pali EGHOVE, Executive Assistant on Social Works, who will help us explore the implications of these changes on governance, development and social impact in the Niger Delta region and the sports section nationwide. Good morning, Honorable.
Yeah, good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
It's a pleasure inviting me here to ride with you this morning.
Yes, thank you so much for joining the ride. Now let's talk about the dissolving of the Niger Delta Development Commission and the Sports Ministry as well. Could you give us your initial reaction to the decision to scrap the ministries of the Niger Delta Commission and the Sports Development?
Yeah, actually it was shocking. Because that is a ministry that was set up to achieve specific goals. That was a ministry that was set up, through dialogue, through a lot of talking and all that, because Yar'Adua wanted to make sure that the Niger Delta was at peace so that they can produce oil. I mean, that is our mainstay. Oil is our mainstay. So it was like, let me put everything in place to make sure that there is peace, so that the production can go on fine. So for the present president to say he's scrapping it, to me it was uncalled for.
It's not like he really scrapped it. Like I said, I chose to use the word dissolve. He created a broader commission, the regional development, where NDDC and other commissions like the NDDC are under that particular umbrella.
Well, the truth is that I don't see it as being dissolved. It was scrapped. Because let's be frank, let's look at it. We are talking of Ministry of Regional Development. That is not for Niger Delta. Do you understand? Okay. You have the North Central Development Commission. Yes. You have other commissions, and I'm sure the one of Southeast and Southwest will soon come in. Yeah. Okay, now, for Niger Delta, what do we have? NDDC is not for South-South. NDDC is for the oil-producing states. Yes. So you can't say NDDC is for South-South. Because in NDDC, you have the South-South, yes, you have the Southwest, Ondo, you have the Southeast, Abia and Imo. Yes. So that is not for Niger Delta. That is not for South-South. So at present, the way I see it, there is no commission for the South-South. So that means South-South has been completely left out. Okay. This Ministry of Regional Development is for the 6 geopolitical zones. You understand? Yeah. They are not particularly for South-South. Okay. You understand? They are going to take care of those commissions. Now, when South-South has problems, where are we going to vent our concerns? Okay. Is it true NDDC? No. NDDC belongs to other people. So we need our own. The Ministry of Niger Delta was ours. Of course, it was for the Niger Delta, but then there was, when you have NDDC, you have Ministry of Niger Delta, that took care of South-South, kind of. Okay. But now they are being specific. You understand? Yeah. They are being specific. North Central Development Commission, maybe they will come up with Northeast Development Commission, Southwest Development Commission, and all that. So what about South-South? Why would anybody assume that the NDDC is for South-South? No, it isn't.
Okay. Now, what was the main role of the Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs, and how do you think this removal now would affect ongoing projects in the region?
The focus of that Ministry of Niger Delta was to see to infrastructural development. It was to see to environmental protection. It was to see to the issues of youth empowerment, peace and security. Okay. You understand? Those were specific to the Niger Delta, to the South-South. Okay. Yeah. So
right.
that was...
And then how do you think this removal now would affect ongoing projects? Because I'm sure that over time the NDDC have projects that they've been working on in the Niger Delta region. Now that the federal government have scrapped it and brought in the regional development, how do you think this will affect ongoing projects in the Niger Delta region?
Well, the question is, who will take over those jobs? Because they were being implemented by the Ministry of Niger Delta. Now the Ministry of Niger Delta is out. So I don't know, maybe they will shift them to NDDC, which is not really supposed to be. Because NDDC is an agency that has its own mandate. You understand? The Ministry of Niger Delta was specifically made for to satisfy the people of this region. Okay. There were some needs that there were some concerns that were supposed to be met. You understand? Because as at that time, there was a lot of youth restiveness, a lot of vandalization, a lot of siphoning of the crude oil, and a lot was going on. So in his own goodness of heart, the then president saw to it that no, something needs to be done. We need to pacify these people. How do we go about it? And he came up with this Minister of Niger Delta. So to the Niger Deltans, it was a kind of win-win situation. It was a victory that, okay, the government is now listening to us. It was an answer to a cry. Yeah. Okay. So now you are taking that answer away from us.
Do you think the Ministry of Regional Development would address challenges that are unique to the Niger Delta region? Because from the explanations you've given so far, you are concerned about the challenges that are unique to the Niger Delta region.
Yes.
So now, do you think the Ministry of Regional Development would address those challenges?
See, the Ministry of Regional Development is for the 6 geopolitical zones. It's not specifically for Niger Delta. You understand? I think their role is going to be supervisory. Okay. They are not just for one zone. It's a supervisory. It's like saying Ministry of Works. It's for the whole nation. Okay. Do you understand? Then if you say Ministry of Health, it's for everybody. So I'm sure, in fact, I don't know how they are going to handle this issue. I think in their minds, they are thinking that NDDC will do the job that Ministry of Niger Delta was doing. But you see, they need to be a bit, I know what they are trying to do is that they want to practice equity. That in every region, in every region you have a development commission. You understand? But then that equity, if you look at it, South-South is out of it. Because NDDC, like I said before, it's not for the South-South.
For the South-South exclusively.
Yes, it isn't. It's for it's for the oil producing states. So South-South is just a part of it. Okay. Those states, they are going to have their own development commissions. So what about us?
Why do you think the federal government decided to consolidate regional development under one ministry instead of focusing on distinct ministries like the Niger Delta Affairs?
Well, I'm sure there are some agitations. When this Ministry of Niger Delta was created and with the NDDC, working side by side, yes, the agency, I'm sure the other zonal regions, they were a bit, maybe a bit of jealousy that, they're having so much. So we need something too. Or here we have Boko Haram issues. So we need a development commission, so everybody was just trying to, it's like everybody wants a part of the cake. Do you understand?
Yeah.
But the truth is, this cake we are talking about, who baked it? Where are the ingredients being taken from? Niger Delta. So they want to be at par with everyone. It can't be so. I mean, the goose that lays the golden egg should be treated specially. And that's the South-South. We're Niger Delta, but right now we are talking about the South-South because we don't have anything there unless they are going to create a commission, a development commission for the South-South. Well, that could pacify us.
Okay.
But you see, the idea that this ministry that was given to us after so much agitation, after so much dialoguing and all that, why would it be taken? I think the minister, the president should have looked at the reasons why that ministry was created. I mean, he should have looked deep into it, and I'm sure he would have known that this ministry should just be there for them.
Okay.
Do you understand? Because it's just where people are saying that the ministry was not really, doing much, but the fact that it was there for us is satisfying.
Okay. Now let's look at the positives. Let's try to look at the positive side. Yeah. Do you foresee any benefit, from merging the regional commissions into a single ministry? Do you foresee benefits, any positive side to this decision by the federal government?
Well, in every decision there are always positive sides and negative sides. You understand? But one big thing that I'm saying, how are they going to fund these commissions? Because funding is going to be a big problem. Do you understand? Already there's been this outcry that, the government is taking too much on itself, that they should kind of, let go some of these parastatals. Now we are creating more. So the overhead is going to be much too. You understand? So that is, I'm sure they have their plans how they are going to fund them. But then I think I'm seeing a problem there. But on the other hand, when you have it's like bringing a development to the grassroots. When you have different development commissions like that, every region will now be able to come up with their own issues, how to handle them and all that. So that's a plus, actually. It's just that coming from this side, we don't want to be left out.
Yes. I quite understand that. Okay. Now, how do you foresee this transition process? How do you foresee it affecting employees and stakeholders within the Niger Delta and Sport Ministries? Because I know when I heard about this development, that was my major concern. That how would it affect the employees and affect stakeholders within Niger Delta and the sports ministries?
You see, the truth is, when there is a change of management, the issue of job security comes in. You understand? Of course, they are going to be very uncomfortable because they don't know if they are going to be absorbed into the new system or they are going to be, let go. Yeah. So those are some of the psychological problems they are going to be having now. But I want to believe that the government would not really want to lay off those people. So I'm sure they will find some way for them. Okay. But if they don't, it's going to create a big problem.
Now, are there any specific Niger Delta programs you're concerned might lose attention or funding with this restructuring? Are there anyone at all?
Well, the truth is, for now, like they say, the taste of the pudding is in the eating. Yeah. Well, let's eat first before we know how it's going to taste.
Okay, that's fine. Now, do you think the National Sports Commission can effectively replace the Ministry of Sports Development in terms of policy and development programs?
So, come again.
The National Sports Commission, the Ministry of Sports was scrapped. Yes, to the national. It's now a National Sports Commission. Now, do you think the National Sports Commission can effectively replace the Ministry of Sports Development in terms of policy and development programs?
Well, if you look at it from the larger angle, it might have some difficulties. But then, when a job is given to you, there's a job description. I'm sure they will rise up to to the occasion.
Okay, now how can the government ensure that sports development in grassroots communities remain a priority? Because when I heard the news, I was like, what do they hope to gain? What's the difference between the Ministry of Sports and the National Sports Commission? What will be the difference, and what changes will be made? So how do you think the government can ensure that this sports development in the grassroots communities remains a priority to them?
Well, I think, like you said, it was just a change of name. Nomenclature. Okay. You understand?
You feel things will remain the same?
Actually.
Okay.
As regards the sports, the only issue I have is with the Ministry of Niger Delta. That is, as regards the South. Okay. It can't be the same. You understand? It can't be the same.
Okay. Now, in terms of development, do you think the restructuring will help, or do you think it will hinder projects in the Niger Delta? You said that's a major concern. So I'm going back to the Niger Delta. Yeah. Do you think this restructuring will help, or do you think it will hinder regional projects in the Niger Delta region?
Well, it might slow down things. Why do I say this? Before now, you have the Minister of Niger Delta taking some of the chunk of the issues, handling some of the issues. Then you have the NDDC handling the others. But now you're saying that maybe everything should be moved over to the NDDC. And NDDC has their plate full already. So you can imagine what's going to be. There's going to be an overload. Okay. That's what I think.
Okay, now what do you think the federal government can do to reassure Delta communities that their development needs will not be neglected?
Well, I would like to appeal to the federal government that if they are really people-oriented, there's this outcry. People are saying, give us our Minister of Niger Delta. Why not? Give it to them. Do you understand? There's an outcry. Everybody's saying, no. Give it back to us. Why not? Let's know that he's a people-oriented president. Do you understand? Okay. Somebody who listens to the cry of the people. So I think that will go a long way to really resolve a lot of issues.
And if the federal government decides not to give the people back their NDDC or the Niger Delta?
No, the NDDC is intact. Actually, the NDDC is not in the equation right now. It's intact. It's an agency that's...
So the Niger Delta affairs is the issue?
That is the issue.
Okay, so if the federal government decides not to give it back to the people, because like you said, many people are clamoring to get it back.
Yes.
If the federal government refuses, do you think it will affect the federal government's relationship with local and state governments in the Niger Delta?
No, I think it will. Because the stakeholders are not happy that this decision was taken without consultation. Okay. You understand? Because when Niger Delta Ministry was created, there was consultation. There was some dialoguing, you understand, before it was created. Now you want to take it away. It's just courtesy that you come back to the people, the stakeholders, and say, well, for so and so reason, I want to do this. You see, it will have calmed down nerves. But you see, when you just go and make a decision that, well, this is my decision, I'm the Lord of the... You understand?
President of the country, so he has the right to take such decisions.
No, but then consult. Because you are not just the president of the country, of the people too. You understand? So talk with them. Okay. Bring them to speed.
Do you think this will discourage the private sector from investing in the Niger Delta region? Do you see this as an issue that
will
come up with?
Yes, I think what they will do is wait and see what's going to happen before any investment. Okay. Because we don't know the reaction. We don't know what's going to be the reaction of the people, of the real Niger Delta. Because, well, we are part of the... when you are in the cities, you do not know what's really happening in the real Delta region. I'm not talking of Delta State, the Niger Delta. How are they going to react to this? Because that Minister of Niger Delta was a way of pacifying them. Okay. You understand? Now, that thing that that was given to them, that they saw as victory, that they saw as a special gift, you're taking it away from them. So I don't know how they're going to react. But of course, I know most the stakeholders, I mean, we're talking of leaders like Chief Ike Clark and all those people, they're not happy with it.
What do you think they should do? Should we clamor for our South-South Development Commission, or should these stakeholders go back to the president and have a discussion with him, making him see the reasons why we need that Niger Delta affairs?
Actually, he should call them for a discussion.
He should call. But we don't see the president is speaking about it. So what should stakeholders do?
No, the stakeholders cannot just get up and say, we want to talk. I mean, you need audience. You need to be given an audience before you. What they are doing now, they are just talking. They are just venting their own dissatisfaction with the policy. Okay. You understand? But I'm sure he's also hearing. He knows what's happening. So the best thing is just to call them to a round table that, look, these are my reasons. And if they are satisfied, okay. But then the issue of South-South Development Commission could be a pacifier. That's the way I see it. If it is created, it could be a pacifier because it could take over the job. All that the Minister of Niger Delta was doing, they could take them up.
Okay. Now, the president over time has talked about how he comes up with this renewed hope agenda. Do you think that this restructuring aligns with President Tinubu's broader agenda for the Nigerian economy and governance? Do you think this is part of his agenda to really bring development to all sectors or all areas in the country?
Well, agenda, the open agenda and the remote agenda and whatever it is, before he took this decision, it must be satisfying something, a goal. We might not even know why he's doing it, but he must have taken this decision because he has something he wants to, there's a situation he wants to satisfy, or maybe a people that he wants to satisfy. Because it's possible there are people saying that no, too much is being given to the Niger Delta. We want our own share. But you see, the problem is that they are not thinking of when it comes to bringing to the table, how much are we bringing in?
Exactly.
So much is being taken from the Niger Delta. We are not just talking of the income. What about the lives of the people? The blood of the people? Because when you go to the Niger Delta, you will see the devastation.
The state of the communities.
The state of the communities. The lands have been polluted, the waters polluted. So their main livelihood has been taken away from them. These are people who will just go to the river, get fresh fish, eat, go to the farm, get cassava or something, make fufu or something, and eat. They can't do that now.
Okay.
So much has been taken from them. And you want to be at par with them in sharing? It's not fair. That's not equity. If he's driving at equity, then it's not equity.
It's not equity.
Yeah.
All right. You are the executive assistant to Delta State Government on social works.
Yeah.
Is there any role your office will play in supporting the social welfare aspect of these transitions?
You see, I'm a bit passionate because I know it affects the welfare of the people. You understand? Yeah, because if you've really been to the hinterland, you will know that there is so much suffering going on there. So I am saying that. In fact, I'm joining the others to say that, Mr. President, please give it back to us. You see, sometimes you might have a child in the house. Well, maybe he will not be doing any special thing or, but the fact that the child is your child and is at home gives you some satisfaction. If that child is taken away, no matter how naughty that child has been, of course, it will be a big deal to you. So that's what is happening. It's our child. It's our baby. It's our gift from Yaradua. It shouldn't be taken away from us.
Okay. Now, lastly, is there any message you would like to share with citizens in the Niger Delta and those in the sports sector about these new developments? What will be your last message to the people of Niger Delta?
I would like to say that whatever we are doing, we should do it in a peaceful way. Because, if violence does not really, profit anybody. So let's make our our stand clear without violence.
And then what will be your message to the federal government as well?
That please, Mr. President, don't take our little pacifier from us, because the Minister of Niger Delta was given to us to pacify the people of the Niger Delta. So please don't take it away from us.
All right, we've been speaking to Honorable Mrs. Pali EGHOVE, the Executive Assistant to the Delta State Governor on Social Works. Thank you so much, Honorable, for sharing your insight on the recent restructuring of the Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs and the Ministry of Sports Development. Thank you, Ma, for coming.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
We appreciate your time and your dedication. Thank you so much, dear viewer. And that is a wrap on Wednesday's edition of Morning Ride. On behalf of the production crew, we thank you especially for joining us this Wednesday morning. Please stay tuned.